I had just worked with Carrie Midday in Veritas, and she went on Stu Peters' show, and it just went viral. I was paying attention to the media circles, and it was like 200 something thousand views, I thought, or something like that, So people were aware slightly, but the Veritas FBI raid had to do with spiking my story. Absolutely. 100%,
I believe that
So
as well.
Wow.
the
So
more I
this
tell my story, the more people are like, okay, does it make sense that it was Ashley Biden's diary, or was it the fact that Justin just provided them the biggest story in the history of the world and they didn't want to tell it? So they came up with a narrative and an excuse, because this Ashley Biden's diary investigation started in October of 2020, guys. Whereas what I did was literally a week and a half prior. Are we really gonna just eat their, drink their Kool-Aid that they're feeding us? That's a huge reason why I've stepped forward, because I knew all that, and James is out here talking about his FBI raid and the Ashley Biden diary. And the FBI raids nobody without convicting them. And James, Spencer, Eric Cochran all got away, no conviction, nothing. Case dropped recently as well. So
by
it's a huge
Biden's
anomaly.
administration, or was it dropped during Biden or Trump?
It was dropped recently, I think, with Trump. Like a few,
So do you think
recently.
Did they steal all of your content then? Is that what you're thinking? Or did they bully O'Keefe?
I would say that, I mean, I'm speculating here, but I ultimately feel that James got FBI'd in like 2010, 2011 with the whole Acorn thing. He got arrested, and ever since he's been co-opted, most likely. Or either that or he was co-opted from the start. I believe he is an intelligence asset 100%. I mean, he's been connected to Eric Prince, Blackwater.
Definitely got connections with the intelligence agents. Absolutely.
100%. I sent you guys a DM of Alex Jones basically saying that James O'Keefe is a highly trained intelligence asset by the CIA. He admitted that after he got an undercover story on a defense intelligence asset himself.
I mean, I saw pictures of you hiking with O'Keefe and bro hugging it out. I mean, how much time did you spend with him? Would you say, because this whole thing's going on, what would you say, 5-6 months?
I worked for James for a year and a half.
Okay.
So that picture of us hiking was at a call it an all hands event. I barely knew James at that point.
Listen, I just said it out of jealousy because there's no way I'm getting up on that trail. I'm like, this motherfucker. He's probably like 50. But no, I'm just curious, like, was there a bond between you and James, or?
No. Apparently James actually wanted to always fire me until I got the biggest story in company history, and then he looked at me like I was, the best journalist ever. Yeah, play this actually.
Yeah, here's that clip you were talking about, by the way.
He obviously just got it. O'Keefe was told where to go, what to do, who to target. And it's not a secret that he was trained by the good guys in the CIA. So obviously the bad guys know this, but I want to just let their minions know.
Well, and I mean, that makes sense because there is a civil war going on in our State Department, has been for quite some time. And, there's argument to be made that Alex Jones himself is an asset. And by asset, I mean, the information that was just given to him, I'm not saying it came with a cost, but it was written in a way to influence the public one way or the other. So, I feel like in that way, he served as an asset in certain areas.
For sure.
That would be an unknowing asset as well.
Yes. You're not saying O'Keefe's unknowing. Yeah. I mean, your feeling when you were with him, and what was your feeling of this guy's character?
I mean, my gut was just, it always felt like I was being manipulated. and I was being used. I
Well, that's
always
what he
felt that.
does. I mean, that's what he does. Is he's a manipulator. He's just
Yeah.
doing it for the sake of good is how it's portrayed. And I'm not saying he's not either. But if you've got the power to manipulate, then use it for good. I guess like that's the
Right.
skill you've been given.
Well, what controlled opposition
One-
ultimately does is they drop out bits of truth, but they also are able to manipulate and trickle in a lot of lies as well, and like with my whole situation, I mean, he, when they offered me a job, right, to um, get to on how they buried this story, they said recording consent laws were broken. You crossed the state lines with the microscope issue, and those were like the two big reasons. And then they also used the FBI raid. And the day that I met James, we sat down for 40 minutes at a Capitol Grill. They dropped $700 on a dinner with me, right?